Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today Veradigm Incorporated just filed an 8K amendment, and I am seeing a subtle but important shift in their consulting arrangements. Quick note, this is not financial advice, just my take on public filings for educational purposes. This filing clarifies a consulting deal that started back in June with a former CFO, and it has some interesting payment terms and stock components. Alright, let's dive into what this amended filing is all about for Veradigm Incorporated. Now normally an 8K is for really big current events, but this is an amendment, meaning they are going back to fix or add information to a previous filing. This specific amendment is all about a consulting agreement that they put in place. Back on the 6th of April of 2026, Veradigm filed an initial report, an 8K, to talk about how their interim chief financial officer, Leland Westerfield, would stay on as a consultant after his employment ended. They mentioned they planned to sign a formal consulting agreement with him. This section is where the meat of the story is. It details changes in the company's leadership and arrangements with key personnel. So, on May 26, 2026, Veradigm actually signed the deal it had planned with Mr. Westerfield. But here is a key detail. The agreement wasn't just with him personally, it was with him and a company called Wilcox Capital Incorporated. This is important because it means they are structuring this consulting arrangement through a separate entity. The agreement kicked off on the 1st of June 2026 and is set to run through the 31st of March of 2027. During this time, Mr. Westerfield, through Wilcox Capital, will act as a strategic financial advisor to Veradigm. So what exactly is Mr. Westerfield supposed to do in this advisory role? The agreement outlines a few key responsibilities. First, he is there to help transition his old job as interim chief financial officer to the new chief financial officer, Christian Grayenbol, who was hired as the company announced in that initial filing. Think of it as a smooth handoff to make sure the financial operations don't miss a beat. Second, he'll be involved in preparing the company's financial statements, their regular reports, and other filings that go to the US Securities and Exchange Commission. This suggests that their financial reporting might still be a work in progress, or at least they want extra experienced eyes on it. Third, and this is often a big one for companies, he is tasked with helping to fix what they call material weaknesses in their internal control over financial reporting. Material weaknesses are serious issues in how a company tracks and reports its finances. These can make the financial statements unreliable, and companies have to work hard to fix them. And finally, he'll do other services as they both agree on. So it sounds like they want to leverage his expertise broadly. Now, let's talk about the compensation for his services. Veradigm will pay Wilcox Capital a monthly fee of $45,937.5. This is for the 10 months of the consulting period. That adds up, but there is a catch, or rather a condition. The final 2 monthly payments are dependent on Mr. Westerfield signing a general release of claims, basically agreeing not to sue the company, and that release has to be in a form that Veradigm finds reasonable. This is pretty standard practice when someone leaves a company in a role like his. Beyond the cash fee, there is also a stock component. Veradigm will grant Wilcox Capital Restricted Stock Units, or RSs, that are worth $100,000. This award will happen on the first business day after the company files its annual reports for both 2023 and 2024. These RS will then fully vest, meaning they become completely owned by the contractor. On the 31st of March 2027, this is a really interesting incentive. It ties a portion of their compensation to the company's future reporting and performance, and it also encourages them to stay for the full term of the agreement. Think about it like this: if Veradigm's financial reporting or internal controls are a mess, and they can't get those annual reports filed properly, that $100,000 in stock could be delayed or even jeopardized. It is a way to align the consultant's interests with the company's need to get its financial house in order. The document mentions that this description of the consulting agreement is a summary and that the full details are in the agreement itself, which is filed as an exhibit. This is Exhibit 10.4, the actual consulting agreement. And to wrap things up, the signatures show this report was executed on May 26, 2026 by Eric Jacobson, who holds the Senior Vice President title and is also Interim General Counsel and Corporate Secretary. Looking at the big picture here, this filing paints a picture of a company that is actively working to stabilize its financial reporting and internal controls. The engagement of a former CFO, even through a consulting entity, signals that they are bringing in experienced help to address some potentially significant issues. The structure of the payment, with a monthly fee and then those stock awards that vest over time and are contingent on approvals, shows a desire to retain expertise and ensure commitment. The emphasis on remediation of material weaknesses is a key takeaway for investors. This means the company is acknowledging these issues and is investing resources to fix them. Historically, when companies have to file amendments like this to clarify consulting arrangements, especially involving former senior financial officers and a focus on internal controls, it often points to a period of intense financial scrutiny. We've seen companies in similar situations spend months, sometimes even more than a year, working to clean up their financial reporting. The timeline here, running into early 2027, suggests this is a substantial undertaking. What I am really watching for is how effectively these material weaknesses are addressed. If they can successfully remediate them, it builds confidence in the company's financial statements and its overall management. If the process drags on or if new issues arise, it could signal deeper problems. Oh, and the research tools I actually use are linked in the description. They help keep this channel going. That is my take. Stay decoded. If you found this breakdown helpful, please hit like, subscribe for more, and join our Discord community linked below.